My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the Pilgrim's pride, from every mountain side, let freedom ring. Happy Independence Day, my friends. Today we hear from Mark chapter 12, verses 18 through 27, about the marriage at the resurrection, or the concept of marriage at the resurrection. Beginning in verse 18, Then the Sadducees, who say there is no resurrection, came to him with a question. Teacher, they said, Moses wrote for us that if a man's brother dies and leaves a wife but no children, the man must marry the widow and raise up offspring for his brother. Now, there were 7 brothers. The first one married and died without leaving any children. The second one married the widow, but he also died, leaving no child. It was the same with the third. In fact, none of the 7 left any children. Last of all, the woman died too. At the resurrection, whose wife will she be, since the 7 were married to her? Jesus replied, Are you not in error, because you do not know the Scriptures or the power of God? When the dead rise, they will neither marry nor be given in marriage. They will be like the angels in heaven. Now, about the dead rising, have you not read in the book of Moses, in the account of the burning bush, how God said to him, I am the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob. He is not the God of the dead, but of the living. You are badly mistaken. Remember that there were at least 4 primary groups of Jewish people in Jesus' day, each with their own goals and agenda, politically, spiritually, and otherwise. The Pharisees were the keepers of the law, living among the people, binding themselves to sacred tradition. They believed it was their sacred duty and responsibility to remind God's people of God's righteous commands. Then there were the Essenes, a group of people who went apart into the desert, in the wilderness, emptying themselves of any and all distractions, hindrances, or dilutants to their faith. The Zealots were willing to take up arms and fight to the death for Israel's independence, believing that God was the only true righteous king for their nation and the Jewish people. And then there's the Sadducees, who served in the temple, and their beliefs diverged greatly from the other leading Jewish groups of Jesus' day. Today, we still have different strands of the Jewish faith. The 4 branches of modern Judaism are Reformed, Orthodox, Conservative, and Reconstructionist, and there are many more strands beyond. It's interesting to see how the 4 main groups of the Jewish faith have changed throughout the millennia. Often we see the Pharisees questioning Jesus, asking him for deeper understanding or challenging his ministry. On this particular occasion, it's the Sadducees who see their opportunity to question Jesus. They have a limited perspective of how life in heaven will be, as do we all, and how it's connected to life on earth, and they challenge Jesus with quite the conundrum. As is his way, Jesus sees to the heart of things. He sees your heart, and he sees mine. He takes their limited understanding to a whole new level, using terms that they can understand to give a new realization. That's what Jesus wants to do in the world and in our lives today. On this July 4th, may we recognize the work of God, the God of the living. May we remember all who have sacrificed greatly so that we can enjoy life, liberty, and happiness. And may our understanding be transformed into new ways of seeing what is possible in God's creation. Dear friend, may the Lord bless you and yours. Amen.